Okay, hi, my name's Ellen. I'm going to teach you guys a little introduction on how to taste wines like a professional. I'm just started doing my WSIT diploma, which is the level 4. So this is the sheet that you get given at the level 4. Notice how they use red? So yeah, it's scary stuff. And there's double-sided as well. The glasses that I'm using, they're called ISO glasses. They're like the official tasting glasses, and you want to fill them up to about there. This is a white. I'll tell you what it is in a second. And this is my red. So I've got them ready. Then I always recommend having a sort of white surface. So like this is just like a really old photo, but something like that, so that when you look at the color of the wine, you can see it clearly on a white surface instead of looking at like this is a wooden surface. So not ideal. But anyways, so yeah, so let's talk through our first wine. So oh gosh, I forgot my spittoon. Hang on. At least like the first sip, I'd always recommend swilling it around and spitting it out. So I'm just using a mug because like I don't have a proper spittoon. I'm not like cool enough yet. But if anyone needs to get me a present for Christmas, spittoon would be pretty cool. Just kidding. Don't get me a spittoon. So let's start with the white wine. So what you want to do is you want to like warm it up a little bit. These are quite cold. It's better if you take them out of the fridge like an hour or so beforehand, just to make sure that you can smell and taste all the flavours. And the same thing with the red. I accidentally only just took it out of the fridge, so it's a bit cold. But anyways, we'll start with the white. Okay, so let's do the appearance of this wine. Sorry. So get your little sheet of white paper, tilt your wine at a 45-degree angle, and then when you're looking at the colour of a white wine, you want to look right at the rim on the 45-degree angle, and if you're seeing a sort of watery rim, then the colour is pale, but if it's like proper yellow and it goes all the way to the edge, then that could be medium or deep. So we're going to go with pale for this one. And then colour-wise, on the whites, it's basically named after like fruits almost. So this one is lemon, pale lemon, because, well, I'll read them up for you. So it goes lemon green, lemon, gold, amber and brown. This one is definitely lemon. So we've got pale lemon on our appearance, and we know that it's a Chardonnay. So we can think of various times we've had Chardonnay and what it might smell like, what it might taste like. So give it a little swirl. Stick your nose in. So now we're onto the nose, and when you're trying to find the intensity of a wine, you want to kind of see how far you have to stick your nose in to achieve a smell that's beyond alcohol. Light intensity on the nose. So then when you're talking about what you're actually smelling, it's split up into 3 categories: primary, secondary and tertiary. So primary characters covers everything from like fresh fruit, so like apples, lemons, like, you know, citrus, whatever. Secondary is anything that the winemaker has done to get a sort of taste into the wine, so like oak or lees stirring, which is when the dead yeast cells, so it makes it a bit more buttery in the wine, and they like kind of stir all together. So that's secondary. And then tertiary is anything from like bottle age or just even oak as well. It's a pretty fresh Chardonnay. It's, yeah, pretty lemony, lots of apple, bit of pear. I think this might have had a tiny bit of oak. It's kind of got a very small vanilla smell. Maybe a tiny bit of oak. I think that's about it. There's not that much going on. I don't think there's any tertiary. I think this one was like 2015, so it's definitely relatively young wine for Chardonnay anyways. So once we've done that, we can move on to the palate, which is the fun part where you taste the wine. So just take a little sip for the first one. Make sure you swirl it around everywhere in your mouth and spit it out. With the palate, you're looking for sweetness, like is this a dry wine, is it an off-dry wine, blah, blah, blah. This is obviously a dry wine. When you taste it, there's not that much sweetness. It's pretty clean, pretty crisp. And then the next one that I'm going to talk you guys through is acidity. So acidity can be quite hard to get your head around. I know when I started doing my WSIT, I literally was just like, what are you talking about? Like, how can you tell what the fuck acidity is? So then I had a really good teacher and he told me about this dribble test. So take some more wine into your mouth and then let your head like literally hang down and see if there's any like, are you getting a lot of saliva in your mouth or not? And I'm getting not that much, but quite a lot. I'm going to say this is medium acidity. So because this is white wine, we don't have to do the tannin part, but we'll do that with the red. Alcohol-wise, so alcohol can be quite confused with acidity, but alcohol usually is when if you actually take a sip or you put it to the back of your throat, you feel a sort of burning sensation. And I think this definitely has quite a bit of alcohol. I mean, Australian Chardonnays generally do. So yeah, I'd say medium plus alcohol. And now let's taste it again to try and get our flavour characteristics. So I'm getting pretty much everything I said on the nose. Definitely some high levels of citrus, lemon for sure, apple, pear. You get that more of that honey, buttery, vanilla texture on the palate. But it's quite nice. It's quite rounded. It's not overly full-bodied. I'd say it's probably medium plus body, but quite nice, refreshing for a Chardonnay. I mean, that's hard to do, and it's nice to see a Chardonnay that's not been like crazily oaked. So then the last thing we need to do is talk about the finish, so how long we can taste it in our mouth, and the flavour intensity. So I'd say, I mean, we haven't said that much about it, so I'd say this is medium minus flavour intensity. There's definitely some stuff going on. There's some primary, some secondary, but there's no tertiary, and the finish itself is quite short. I might say medium minus because it's not short as hell, but it's like there's not a lot going on. And what you get is more the alcohol taste rather than the flavours. So that's something to look for when you're talking about the finish of a wine. Like, are you just getting alcohol as an aftertaste, or are you tasting those lovely fruit characters that you picked out beforehand? So keep that in mind when you're talking about finish. So the next thing you do is you're trying to do an assessment of quality. So do you think this wine is good, poor, like very good, blah, blah, blah. And I'd say this wine is good. I'd say just goes into good. It could just be acceptable, but it's good. It kind of lacks a balance between the flavours and the alcohol, I'd say. I'd say the alcohol kind of sticks out a little bit, like you can taste it in the back of your throat. All in all, pleasant as hell. Good thing to drink on a Tuesday when you've got the day off work because you don't have weekends off like the rest of your friends. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's the white one done. I'm going to take an actual sip now. So let's move on to our red. So this one is like super cold. I literally just took it out of the fridge. It's a Dow, which is a region in Portugal. So it's usually quite a medium to full-bodied, quite fruity red. So it's really annoying that it's so cold. So we'll go through the same steps as we did before. We'll get our clear what did I say it was? Like tasting tray, and tilt your wine at the 45-degree angle, and we're looking again at the rim of the wine to see how far that colour goes, and this colour goes almost all the way to the edge. It's at least a medium intensity, maybe medium plus intensity, and I'd actually say that the colour on this is, if not ruby, almost kind of purple. So now that we've done appearance, let's give it a little sniff. So just put your hand over, give it a swirl, and then take one like big sniff. I'm getting a lot of red fruits. It's definitely just fruity. I'm not even sure if this will have had, it might have had a little bit of oak on it. This is definitely a fresh style. This is like a fruity, young, easy drinking wine. I actually looked up the price for this because my parents went to Portugal recently and they brought it back, and apparently it's £2.67. How? I don't know. It's actually pretty delicious. I'm getting a lot of strawberry, a bit of cranberry. Also, kind of like a black currant, maybe even a blackberry. As it's warming up, it's getting more dark fruits. It smells alright. So, I would say, yeah, medium. We've got some primary, we've got a little bit of secondary, just like the first one. Still a pretty simple wine. And then let's go to the taste. It says, take some in our mouth. That's dry. Quite a few tannins. So with reds, if you get it all around your gums, because tannins, the phenolics they attach themselves to protein, so there's protein in your saliva, which is why it kind of goes around your gums. So yeah, it's got medium tannins, but they're pretty nice. They're not bitter. They're just kind of soft, but they're definitely there. This should be a good wine for food if you want to eat it with like some super amazing steak or lamb or whatever. This will go really well, or even with cheeses. So I'd say let's do the durable test for the acidity. Not that high in acidity. I'm going to give it a medium minus again. The alcohol might be sort of tricking my mouth into thinking it's acidity, but I think the alcohol is probably medium, maybe medium plus. And then body-wise, I'd give this a medium as well. It's not full-bodied. It's pretty light in a way, but it's definitely got those flavor characters on the mid palate. So flavor intensity-wise, I'm going to give this a medium. I'm basically going to give it a medium all round. Like, this isn't amazing. It could be better for sure, but for £2.67, like, what more could you ask for? So let's talk about the flavours. It's still the same thing that I got on the nose. I'm just going to swallow it. So yeah, you're getting a lot of those red fruits first, like sort of more kind of crunchy, and then you've got this sort of like blackberry cassis vibe at the end. So that was quite pleasant. You still get the little bit of the chocolatey thing going on. Maybe there's a bit of oak, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But it tastes like there might have been a tiny bit. I'd say it's not bad. It's actually a longer finish than the white. So I'm going to give it a medium finish, which isn't bad at all for the price. And I'm going to say that this wine is good, like the first one. It needs a little bit of improvement on acidity, balance between alcohol, and I think you could have a little bit more going on there. But honestly, like, if you're looking for just a wine to go out partying and drink most of the day, I would recommend this. But anyways, thank you for watching my first wine tasting video. I really didn't know what I was doing, but I think it went okay. It's like super long. It's way longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 10 minutes, but whatever. I guess I actually have things to say, which is great. So yeah, I hope it helps you guys out. It's a good thing to talk through if you're having a wine tasting event or whatever. And I will post, I think my next one's going to be on super Tuscan wines. because I've got a really nice wine to try. Alright, thanks guys, bye!